few years back, I did a short video on this magazine and said about how I had bittersweet memories of it. Well, today I've got a follow-up to that. I've got a sequel. I've got a part two to it. But before I get to the part two, um, I thought I would expand it a little bit more. Now, if you're not in the UK or you're too young to remember Looking is a product of a time which seems very strange now that if you wanted to see further ahead the TV schedules of the day, if you want to look further into the week, you had to buy a magazine, a TV listings magazine, of course. And here in the UK, there was two. You had Radio Times for everything that was going to be on the BBC, and you had TV Times for everything that was going to be on the ITV network. Not ITV network, because back then ITV, independent television, was regional. So each region had its own schedules. It seems very strange now to think back to when, if you wanted to watch a particular show, depending on where you were in the country, you might be watching it on a Saturday tea time, you might be seeing it on a Sunday morning, you might be seeing it on a Tuesday evening. It varied, and Look-In was the junior TV times, as it says here. And it started in 71, and it went right up until the 90s. And what it was, it's the junior TV times. It was at the very back. You've got a listing of all the TV shows that were going to be out the following week. But this was for children, and what it was a weekly magazine which was a mix of articles and comic strips. The articles were music, sport, real world stuff, and the comic strips were a mix of comedy strips and whatever was flavour of the month on ITV at that time. There were comic book adaptations of the shows, and it could be anything. It could be serious, like Black Beauty or Folly Foot. It could be comedy show like On the Buses, or, and the reason I was buying it, science fiction. So the Buck Rogerses, the Space 1999s and what have you, Man from Atlantis and stuff. There were weekly comic book adventures of the people that you were seeing on TV. So yeah, that's what Look-In is, or was. And I thought before I get to the part two on this, I would show you what I mean. So what I've done is I've gone on eBay and I've bought 4 back issues from the time that I was buying it. And the very first one I've got is the only one that does not have this artist doing the covers, because a massive appeal for me for Look-In, and part of the letdown there was with Look-In, was the covers that I remember were done by one artist. He had an amazing run from 1973 to 1981. Arnaldo Puzzu was the cover artist, all right? And he did this brilliant photorealistic artwork. Now, he was from Italy. He was working out of a London studio, though, and he had started off in the 60s doing film posters. His first one that he did for a British film was The Magnificent Two, the Morecambe and Wise film. But he then moved on to a whole series of posters for the Carry On films, and he did a couple for Hammer. He did The Creatures That World Forgot and Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires. But from 73 to 81, Arnaldo was the man. And in 81, they decided to go over to photo covers, and it just wasn't the same. But a lot of the time, the appeal for me was buying it because it had a great cover, but then the comic strip art inside couldn't match what was on the cover. All right. So I've got 4 issues here that we're going to have a flick through before we get to, as I say, part 2 on this. All right. So The first one is an illustration of what it was like before Arnaldo came along. This is 15th January 1972. I was buying it then. I bought it right from the beginning. I'll just say right from the beginning. I can remember it came out in 71, so I was 9, and there was a TV campaign for it. And the uh, the catchphrase on that TV advert was "Look out for Look In." And I remember going up to buy the very first issue of Look In, and there was a lady in front, and she was saying to the news agents that she wanted to buy this new comic, and how the advert was "Look in for Look Out." She had got it the wrong way around. I don't know why that's stayed in my mind ever since I was 9, but I was definitely buying it here, and I was definitely buying it because Catweasel was a huge favourite of mine. I love Catweasel. I wanted Catweasel to come along and be my friend. So I definitely would have had this. All right. Now, there were always prizes to be won and save up tokens and stuff like that. I haven't looked through any of these. We're going to go through these now and just see what we've got. So Leslie Crowther, yeah, he wasn't a favourite of mine. I've never liked Leslie Crowther ever, but he had his own comic strip. On the buses, we do a Hammer podcast, and Hammer did a couple of Hammer on the buses films, and we're going to have to cover them at some point. But I never found On the Buses funny. We had to watch it because back in those days, you know, we had one TV, and what my mum wanted to watch, we had to watch. We had no choice. So yeah, that's the competition. Freewheelers. Oh yeah, that's an old TV show. I remember the name. I don't think I ever watched it. I don't know who that artist is. Please, sir. Yeah, that was a big old show. Lift Off by Aisha, Aisha, whatever. I met her last year. Lovely lady. There's Catweasel. Again, I'm not sure on that artist. Follyfoot. There you go. Follyfoot. The story of a horse farm. Sunday mornings, I seem to remember that being on. Fen Street Gang. That's a rip off from Please Sir, wasn't it? Time Slip. Time Slip is a TV show that I remember very well, but I'm put off going back to it because I think I'm going to be disappointed, and memory will have let me down. Magpie, ITV's answer to um, uh, Blue Peter. The Soccer Watch, yours for £4.80. I would have passed on that. Cliff. Oh yeah, you always got a pin up. You always got a pin up. Oh, here we go. Here's the list. Oh, do it yourself origami. Here is the face of a Pekingese dog by Sally Gitler, who wins £1. Thank you, Sally. Here's the listings on your TV programs this week. Now, would I have been? What will I have been? I would have been Southern. It was really weird. At the weekend, we were London Weekend Television and Thames TV at the weekend, but during the week we would have been Southern. So Saturday, because this is for kids, you're only getting the bit that they think the kids would be watching. All right. So on Saturday, what would I have watched? I would have watched Randall and Hopkirk if my mum let me at 5:10. Saturday film. It just says Saturday film. All right. Who do you do? Oh, that was an impressionist show, wasn't it? Sunday, I want to watch the big match. God, we had to watch The Golden Shot. Yes, we would have watched Please Sir. The Big Picture, I guess that was a film. Best of Lucy, don't know what that is. Richard the Lionheart. That must be a TV show because it's only 25 minutes. Bright Spot. Oh, Opportunity Knocks. Quick flick through. Yeah, Sooty, I would have been interested in. Magpie, definitely a Magpie boy, not a Blue Peter person. Fen Street Gang. Tuesday film. Mike and Bernie's. Oh, Mike and Bernie Winters. Jason King was on at 8 o'clock on the Wednesday. Joe 90, 4:55 on Thursday, followed by Magpie, Junkin. I think that's John Junkin. Friday though, look at this. Friday, 5 to 5. Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. and in the evening, The Persuaders and Doctor at Large. All right, that's issue 1 down. We're going to go off to 1975 next, but I'm stopping this now because I've just realised I've got to go and do something. So I'm going to come back and I will continue. All right, I'm back. So here we go. 6th of December 1975. Two people that were almost hero models, especially Steve Austin. I loved $6 Million Man, and Space 1999 was out. So this is what I remember. Always page 3 for me is the Benny Hill page. I don't know if Benny Hill had anything to do with it. I don't think so. I seem to remember all the strips that were written in this were all by Alan something. Football, so I would have had absolutely no interest. Space 1999, there we go. I've got the official Jerry Anderson stores collection of all the Space 1999 stories, and it's quite outrageous how they mess with the mythology of the show. Mad About the House, you've always got to have a comedy strip in there. Roxy Music, brilliant band. Centre page pull out of Brian Ferry. This is a really good condition one. I like this. Tomorrow People. Love the Tomorrow People, but again, do I dare go back and try watching them? I think there'll be lots of ouch moments. There we go. That looks like Martin Asbury on art there. Oh, I love Steve Austin. Matchbox kits. I used to love these ones. They were always like tan coloured, weren't they? And you always got a 1/72 model with a little diorama base. 30p. Oh, 2-colour kit. I do apologise. Yeah, you always got a little base. Doctor on the Go. Never found that funny. TV listings. I'm going to speed through these. It's always interesting to see adverts. Nothing that makes me go, ooh, I want to get that again. So we're going further forward to 78 now. I was just about to leave school. I think I'd stopped buying it regularly by then, only if something was on the cover. Not a grief. Only if there's something on the cover, I think I would buy it. I mean, if this guy was on the cover, I wouldn't have been buying this one. $6 Million Man continues. That calculator. Eggy bread. How to make eggy bread. ABBA, The Life Story. With photos as well. That's unusual. Logan's Run. I loved the film. And it's good that they're acknowledging that there was indeed a film. I haven't watched the TV series since it came out. I think if I went back and watched it, I wouldn't be able to concentrate because I would just be thinking of John Carpenter's The Thing. Oh, look at these. Maybe I should, for effectively speaking, go back to it and just see how good the effects were. All right. More people again. Star Cruiser, yeah. At this time, Jerry Anderson had his own page in the magazine, and there was Star Cruiser, this thing that they wanted to do. They had the model kit, didn't they? That was originally designed by Martin Bauer, and then it was all changed, and it was going to be a show, and then it was going to be a strip. There's not much of Star Cruiser in Star Cruiser there. Bionic Woman, because old Jamie Summers had come along by then. Oh my God, the Doolies. I'd blank the Doolies. The Doolies. Yeah, I blanked it for a reason. Again, I won't look at that. I'll look at it on the last one. Look at this, because this is January 78. So, yeah, Star Wars had been out in the UK for about a month. So we get Harrison looking all dreamy. Then we've got later on in May. I got this one because it's got Paul Nicholas, but it's got the Tomorrow People. Let's have a look. Always Sport was always about page 7 or 9. $6 million man. Your dress design could be made up by Mary Quant. I don't think I would have had a go at that. Man from Atlantis. Even though that was a short-lived show, it's like, okay, it's on ITV, let's do it. There we are. Meet the new Tomorrow person. I thought she was earlier than 78. How on earth did you get these out? There's no staples. How on earth did you get these out to put them on the wall? Never got any summer extras. Logan's Run, there we go. Well, this is all very trippy. That's interesting. Well, I thought that was for cigarettes for a minute. That's John Bolton. Blimey. Colour John Bolton. At the time, I knew his artwork from Des Skin's um, House of Hammer magazine. Okay. How to make rhubarb caprice this time. Look, Star Cruiser again. And it's 2 images. What a con. All right, Doctor on the Go at the back again. I think this is our last one, yeah, because Catweasel's there. So this is our last one. So let's look at what I've been watching at the weekend on London Weekend Television. Happy Days was 5:15. Grizzly Adams Sunday. Clapperboard on Monday. Tomorrow People, followed by Tomorrow People. Batman at 5:15. I don't remember Batman still being shown in 78. Or maybe it didn't. Maybe by then we weren't London Weekend and Thames. Little House on the Prairie. What else would I would have been Southern if we weren't that at the weekend. We would have had. See, there's no Batman for Southern, so maybe that was Thames and just didn't get to see it. All right, that's it. A little advert for Tom and Jerry ice cream at the end. So, a few years back, I did this, and I said about I'd rebought this magazine. I'm going to flick through it while I get you back up to speed. I can clearly remember this. This is weekend in the 18th of May, 1974. Right, so I wasn't quite 12. I was 11, and usually with children's comics and magazines, you only got a free gift in the first 1, 2, maybe 3 issues, because the idea was kids would buy the comic or magazine for the free gift, read it, maybe get hooked, and maybe they'll stay around when you're not when you're not getting the free gifts. All right, that was the idea. And I remember there was an advert on TV saying that Kung Fu, for This Is It, Kung Fu was quite big over here. Kung Fu, there was going to be a free gift of a Kung Fu medallion, right? In fact, I remember now, flicking through it. Here it's showing you how to wear your medallion on your belt, on your lapel, keychain, necklace, or a proper medallion. And I can remember going up to the shops, and there was quite a queue up in my newsagents, that same newsagents I was in 3 years before, where the ladies like, look out for looking. And everybody wanted this because there was a free Kung Fu medallion, right? It was going to be given away. And I remember buying it, and I got it, and I put it in my satchel, because back then, of course, you had satchels. And I bought it, and got to school, got to the playground, took it out, and it was gone. I'd lost it. Either put it in my satchel or taken out the satchel, it was gone. And I can remember being really quite upset by that and just forlorn, looking around at my friends who had their medallions. All right. And that was the point of the video I did a few years ago, was about, the bittersweet memory of this issue. Well, part 2 update. I have the medallion. It is here. So, how I got this was basically I did the thing you shouldn't really do, which is go on eBay when you've had a few. And I was a bit tiddly, and I was watching it, and I watched it go up and up in price, and basically I won it, and basically I spent more on it than if I had been sober. All right, so this is it. So this is an unpacking, and the whole point of this video is to be reunited with something that I briefly had just over 50 years ago. I actually had. I don't think I'd actually touched it because, however it was attached to the magazine, it fell out. So here we go. This is the very first time I will have seen this or had this in my hand for over 50 years. And here we go. Ha. And here it is. I wasn't expecting it to be bronze. There it is. Isn't that lovely? Now, I'm only used to, let me get it back. I'm only used to that image. I've never seen a photo of it. That is lovely. Oh, you know what? I don't mind paying over the odds for that, because that is really, really smart. The eBay seller said very rare, and I guess it is because people drop them out their satchels. But that is really, really nice. Now, I work with a guy who does a lot of metal work. I'm going to take that to work with me today, and I'm going to see if he can recommend what I can do to clean that up. But that's lovely. I do not mind spending that money. Very nice. All right, that's it. That's my trip back in time 50 odd years. So hope you found it interesting, and I'll be back soon.